A chronological Bible in 365 episodes. This is episode 296, containing portions of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, continuing at Matthew 21. Now when they drew near Jerusalem and came to Bethphage, at the Mount of Olives, then Jesus sent 2 disciples,
saying to them, "Go into the village opposite you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them to me.
And if anyone says anything to you, you shall say, 'The Lord has need of them,' and immediately he will send them."
All this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying,
"Tell the daughter of Zion, behold, your king is coming to you, lowly, and sitting on a donkey, a colt, the foal of a donkey."
So the disciples went and did as Jesus commanded them.
They brought the donkey and the colt, laid their clothes on them, and set them on them.
And a very great multitude spread their clothes on the road. Others cut down branches from the trees and spread them on the road.
Then the multitudes who went before and those who followed cried out, saying, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest!"
And when he had come into Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, "Who is this?" So the multitude said, "This is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth of Galilee."
Continuing in Mark 11. Now when they drew near Jerusalem to Bethphage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his disciples. And he said to them, "Go into the village opposite you, and as soon as you have entered it, you will find a colt tied, on which no one has sat. Loose it and bring it.
And if anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' say, 'The Lord has need of it,' and immediately he will send it here."
So they went their way and found the colt tied by the door outside on the street, and they loosed it.
But some of those who stood there said to them,
What are you doing, loosing the colt?"
And they spoke to them just as Jesus had commanded. So they let them go.
Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their clothes on it, and he sat on it.
And many spread their clothes on the road, and others cut down leafy branches from the trees and spread them on the road.
Then those who went before and those who followed cried out, saying, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest."
And Jesus went into Jerusalem and into the temple. So when he had looked around at all things, as the hour was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12.
When he had said this, he went on ahead, going up to Jerusalem.
This continues in Luke. And it came to pass, when he came near to Bethphage and Bethany, at the mountain called Olivet, that he sent 2 of his disciples,
saying, "Go into the village opposite you. Where as you enter, you will find a coat tied there, on which no one has ever sat. Loose it and bring it here.
And if anyone asks you, 'Why are you loosing it?' thus you shall say to him, 'Because the Lord has need of it.'"
So those who were sent went their way and found it just as he had said to them.
But as they were loosing the colt, the owners of it said to them, "Why are you loosing the colt?"
And they said, "The Lord has need of him."
Then they brought him to Jesus, and they threw their own clothes on the colt, and they set Jesus on him.
And as he went, many spread their clothes on the road.
Then, as he was now drawing near the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of the disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works they had seen,
saying, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest."
And some of the Pharisees called to him from the crowd, "Teacher, rebuke your disciples."
But he answered and said to them, "I tell you that if these should keep silent, the stones would immediately cry out."
Now as he drew near, he saw the city and wept over it,
saying, "If you had known, even you, especially in this day, the things that make for your peace, but now they are hidden from your eyes.
For days will come upon you when your enemies will build an embankment around you, surround you, and close you in on every side,
and level you and your children within you to the ground, and they will not leave in you one stone upon another, because you do not know the time of your visitation.
Continuing in John 12. Then 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus was, who had been dead, whom he had raised from the dead.
There they made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of those who sat at the table with him.
Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil of spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the oil.
Then one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, who would betray him, said,
Why was this fragrant oil not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?
This he said, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief and had the money box, and he used to take what was put in it.
But Jesus said, Let her alone. She has kept this for the day of my burial.
For the poor you have with you always, but me you do not have always.
Now a great many of the Jews knew that he was there, and they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might also see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead.
But the chief priests plotted to put Lazarus to death also,
because on account of him many of the Jews went away and believed in Jesus.
The next day a great multitude that had come to the feast, when they heard that Jesus was coming to Jerusalem,
took branches of palm trees and went out to meet him and cried out, Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel.
Then Jesus went. He had found a young donkey, sat on it, as it is written,
Fear not, daughter of Zion. Behold, your king is coming, sitting on a donkey's colt.
His disciples did not understand these things at first, but when Jesus was glorified, then they remembered that these things were written about him, and that they had done these things to him.
Therefore the people who were with him when he called Lazarus out of his tomb and raised him from the dead bore witness.
For this reason the people also met him, because they heard that he had done this sign.
The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, You see that you are accomplishing nothing. Look, the whole world has gone after him.
Now there were certain Greeks among those who come up to worship at the feast.
Then they came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida of Galilee, and asked him, saying, Sir, we wish to see Jesus.
Philip came and told Andrew, and in turn Andrew and Philip told Jesus.
But Jesus answered them, saying, The hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified.
Most assuredly I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain.
He who loves his life will lose it, and he who hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life.
If anyone serves me, let him follow me, and where I am, there my servant will be also. If anyone serves me, him my Father will honor.
Now my soul is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? But for this purpose I came, to this hour.
Father, glorify your name. Then a voice came from heaven, saying, I both glorified it and will glorify it again.
Therefore the people who stood by and heard it said that it had thundered. Others said, An angel has spoken to him.
Jesus answered and said, This voice did not come because of me, but for your sake.
Now is the judgment of this world. Now the ruler of this world will be cast out.
And I, if I am lifted up from this earth, will draw all peoples to myself.
This he said, signifying by what death he would die.
The people answered him, We've heard from the law that the Christ remains forever. And how can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man?
Then Jesus said to them, A little while longer the light is with you. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. He who walks in darkness does not know where he is going.
While you have the light, believe in the light, that you may become sons of light. These things Jesus spoke and departed and was hidden from them.
Matthew 26. And when Jesus was in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper,
a woman came to him, having an alabaster flask of very costly fragrant oil, and she poured it on his head as he sat at the table.
But when his disciples saw it, they were indignant, saying, Why this waste?
For this fragrant oil might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
But when Jesus was aware of it, he said to them, Why do you trouble the woman? for she has done a good work for me.
For you have the poor with you always, but me you do not always.
For in pouring this fragrant oil on my body, she did it for my burial.
Assuredly I say to you, whenever this gospel is preached in the whole world, what this woman has done will also be told as a memorial to her.
Continuing in Mark 14, and being in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came having an alabaster flask of very costly oil of spikenard. Then she broke the flask and poured it on his head.
But there were some who were indignant among themselves and said, Why was this fragrant oil wasted?
For it might have been sold for more than 300 denarii and given to the poor. And they criticized her sharply.
But Jesus said, Let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She's done a good work for me.
For you have the poor with you always, and whenever you wish, you may do them good. But me you do not always have.
She's done what she could. She's come beforehand to anoint my body for burial.
Assuredly, I say to you, wherever this gospel is preached in the whole world, what this woman has done will also be told as a memorial to her.
You're listening to One Gospel with Heath and Holly. Be sure to like our videos and subscribe.